was harder and worth eating, I'm sure.
What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to another Dirty Bomb video. And in this video, I'm going to be giving you a rundown of all 9 of Javelin's loadout cards upon her release into Dirty Bomb. We're going to take a look at each in detail. There's going to be some I recommend, some that I don't recommend. Hopefully you enjoy. As always, if you're new to the channel, of course, subscribe. If you enjoy the video, leave a like. And without further ado, let's get into the review. So before we get started, guys, I do want to quickly touch upon what's new with Javelin, as she does have some new augments and weapons. On the weapons front, she has a new assault rifle called the Char-C, I'm going to call it the Shark, which is a bit of a Blishlock K121 hybrid. It's a slow-firing, heavy-hitting assault rifle. She also has access to a Tomahawk melee weapon, which deals 50 damage with her left click and 85 damage with her right click, and she also has access to 2 new augments. These are Recharge, which is a 10% reduction on the rocket launcher's 30-second cooldown, and Ammo Reach, which increases the ammunition radius of her 3D printing ammo by 15%. So to start things off, guys, we're going to go through 3 of the strongest loadouts in my opinion. I'd consider these ones tier 1, the creme de la creme. I will, however, stress at the start of this is my early opinions on Javelin's loadout cards, and secondly, when it comes to your own decisions as to what you think makes a good loadout card, it's a lot of personal preference, particularly when it comes to the primary and secondary weapons. So with that out of the way, the first loadout card I want to take a look at is the B45 Power Rifleman. This comes with bigger blasts, focus, and quick draw. It's a very nice weapon with the BR, of course, as its primary. Bigger blasts is a massive improvement on the rocket. Some people look at it and they'll go, that's a 10% increase in explosion radius. That doesn't seem that big. But of course, the sphere itself is an explosion, and the actual area, the volume of the sphere explosion increases by 33% with bigger blasts, which is a huge difference. Secondly, focus is a very strong augment. There's a little bit of a misconception there. Focus does actually impact view kick when shot when firing from the hip. The description of the augment in game is slightly out of date. And the third augment we have is quick draw, which is quicker weapon switching, which is particularly useful when you need to get out the rocket that little bit quicker in the heat of battle. Anyway, the next loadout card we're going to look at is the SH41 Vintage Rifleman. A very nice shark loadout and very combat focused. Drilled is one of my favourite augments in the game. The faster reload is very nice indeed. Unshakeable is a great third augment as well, particularly of course with your own rocket. It's going to limit any self damage you do to yourself, and additionally with all the Javelin spam which I'm envisaging come Javelin's release, that's going to be useful. And the second augment of Bomb Squad is very much the cherry on top. It's a very useful augment. It's an augment which is always active, and it's always great to be able to see motion sensors when they're thrown, proxy mines when they're deployed, and yeah, it's just a very strong second augment. So the last of what I consider the tier 1 augment today is going to be the D81 Standard Rifleman. Of course, this is a weapon with the Drice, and it's very focused around the Drice as well. The first augment you have is Focus, which as I already said is a very good to limit view punch when shooting from the hip and aiming down sights. Drilled is very nice as well with the faster reload time. It's just a great augment. It makes every weapon feel that little bit nicer. And Quick Eye as a second augment is very nice as well in that second slot. Particularly with the Drice, you'll find yourself aiming down sights with it at longer ranges. And given Javelin's kind of playstyle with the rocket, there's lots of times where you will be trying to keep a big gap between yourself and the enemy. So it works out very nicely in those kind of situations. So moving on to the tier 2 loadouts, I do want to stress these ones aren't actually that bad, and across the board, Javelin actually has some really nice loadout cards. There aren't really massive differences between them all in terms of the overall quality. But moving on to the B51 Ultra Rifleman, this is a very nice loadout indeed. It's very supportive. It's probably the best of what I'd consider her support loadouts. It of course comes with, as you can see here, Ammo Reach, which is very nice indeed. We also have Unshakable and Double Time. So obviously Ammo Reach is great for when teammates are kind of huddling around you, particularly if you are being this kind of supportive Javelin. Having Unshakable is nice as well when you're trying to hold positions, and Double Time as a third augment is nice. It gives you the ability of course to reload whilst repositioning, which can be very useful in a number of different situations. So the second of the shark loadout cards in this video is the SH56. The first augment is Chopper, and combined with Javelin's new Tomahawk, it actually means that you can 2-hit kill almost every merc in the game with 2 left clicks, the exceptions being Fragger, Thunder and Rhino. On top of that, Bigger Blasts is a very nice augment. I'd actually argue it's better than the faster recharge on the rocket. Across a 15-minute game, having that quicker cooldown on the rocket by the 10% reduction only means you're going to get 1 extra rocket, and to be honest, I'd rather have quality over quantity, and so having bigger explosions, in my opinion, is that little bit nicer. Of course, you've also got access to ammo reach, which is a very solid augment, particularly in that supportive role. And all in all, it's just quite a nice loadout card, particularly with the Desert Eagle, particularly with the Chassis. And yeah, if you're looking for a more supportive style of play with the Shark, particularly when it comes to giving ammo, but also being potent at a range with your rocket launcher, this is a very good loadout indeed. So the next tier 2 loadout I want to talk about is the D55 Classic Rifleman. It's a nice loadout with lots of little improvements, but I do feel like there are better loadout cards out there for Javelin. I will say, however, this loadout card, because it has both recharge and ammo reach, if you really want to try out the new augments on Javelin and kind of how good they are in game, this is a good loadout card to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. So the last of Javelin's BR loadout cards to review is the B45 Power Rifleman. It's a nice loadout with good combat augments, particularly with Tough if you don't have a medic. Drilled, as I already said, is a very nice augment when it comes to faster reloading. However, I just feel like the B86 is a better loadout card. You know, bigger blast is better. I'd say focused and quick draw are probably slightly better than drilled and tough, although that is purely personal opinion. And, well, recharge, as I already said, whilst it seems like a good augment on paper, only giving you 1 extra rocket in every 15-minute game is not going to make a world of difference when it comes to Javelin's rocketing capabilities. So now we move on to the tier 3 loadouts. These are what are, in my opinion, the weakest of the loadouts. However, I'm sure some people are going to disagree. As I said, Javelin has some really nice loadouts. So whilst these, in my opinion, are the weakest, I'm sure there are some people who are really going to like the augment combinations on these. The first of these is the SH85 Premium Rifleman. It, of course, comes with the Shark. And when it comes to the augments, you've got Guardian Angel, which, of course, gives you the notification of airstrikes above your head. I feel like that's an incredibly situational augment, which I'd only ever really use maybe on engineers when you're kind of, you know, buried with the EV in your face. And her other 2 augments, Focused, it's a very good augment indeed, and well, the other is Recharge, which I'm not going to talk about again, but I just feel like Bigger Blasts is fundamentally better. So the last loadout to review today is Javelin's D46 Adept Rifleman. It's a fun loadout. You have Quick Slash on the Tomahawk. I do feel like having Chopper on the Tomahawk, and of course you get that with the form of the SH56, is just that little bit better. But Bigger Blasts is a very, very good augment and makes her rocket very potent indeed. As I already mentioned just a second ago, Guardian Angel, it has its uses on certain classifications and mercs, but generally speaking, I feel like if you're playing Javelin, you really shouldn't be getting in the firing line of airstrikes, and you should be capable of dodging them without needing to take up an augment slot. So anyway guys, that wraps up all the reviews from me today. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. As I already said at the start, leave a like if you enjoyed. I put quite a lot of effort into this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Just a quick rundown of all the different loadouts that Javelin has at her disposal. Keep your eye out on the channel. There's going to be loads of new Dirty Bomb content coming your way with, of course, the update that's just dropped. Hopefully you've enjoyed this one. I will see you guys on the next one. It is me, Jack, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.